Check, 1, 2, check, 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 check. Okay, it's working. All right, welcome. First episode of this week here with Doug Borger in the shop, standing in front of his new super chrome race car he's putting together for somebody up in New York.
Doug Windhausen.
Okay. Let me introduce what we're going to do first. We're going to talk about making videos. I know I promised this back in March. Well, here we are. We're finally getting to it. They're going to be short. Maybe 20 minutes total. Handful of them at a time. We'll put them out a little bit as we go. Each week we'll add a video, or each 2 weeks. We're not going to promise any time frames. A couple of things that we're going to talk about. I'm going to grab a piece of paper to make sure that we don't miss any. It is some of the recaps of what's happening, some of the things in the Xcel shop that are happening. Shameless plug for anything that Doug has on sale going this week. We're going to talk about the races that are coming up, any significant events that are pertinent to the race car drivers, and basically just anything else that Doug has that he wants to relay.
Yep.
And we're going to make it light and smooth, and there isn't going to be a lot of video editing, so don't expect a super highfalutin, don't expect a super polished video, okay? Hopefully it'll be fun for both of us, and you'll get something out of it, and we'll go from there. So.
Yep, and if I say something that offends somebody, just like at the driver's meeting, I'm sorry. Stuff just comes out of my mouth. It is what it is. That's just me.
He won't say anything.
So
okay. So let me start with, I'm going to take the spotlight for a second. Most of you know that we've been in this series for a while. There was some backdoor revolution going on about things that needed to get done, and now I'm going to be a little controversial. And I went on my own. I had some time off this winter and put the website together to check the boxes off on what people most needed assistance with. So the schedule, the rule book, the parts availability, what they cost in those lists and things like that. And I'm going to say you've all been very responsive on it and helped me get to where we want to be. And people are happy, and I think we've gained a lot in that. And I appreciate your help in getting that ready. So we checked a couple of boxes in that regard. All right, we move forward, and now we're talking about more important things like who's doing what in the racing world, as opposed to how we got to where we're going and what we didn't do and what we should be doing, etc. So thank you for that. Let's check that off the box. We do have one thing going that isn't solved all the way. Doug and I have been talking, and we've been lightly beating it because it's the first time, but the registration thing is still not solved all the way. We want you to register. It's not just for us, it's also for you, because one of the things you asked for is for us to be able to contact you on things that are important. So recently there was an incident where someone got injured in one of our cars. There was a bad fuel line. They were unaware that there was a bad fuel line in their car, so we put out a safety thing. We showed everybody what you're really supposed to be blowing, which is the blue line.
Yep.
We talked about the fitting on the frame rail. We showed you an avenue of how to get that fitting, and that you should be reviewing your cars and going over the safety stuff. You should also be checking your gear and doing things like that. So if you're not part of this and we're not registered, we don't know how to contact you, how do we possibly? Not everybody is on Facebook. Yeah, we have social media, but it's not something that the younger crowd endorses. I know some people are not as technologically inclined. So let's use the website as the tool, as the place to get the information, right? And we need to get those 10% of people that aren't registered in there. Get your car registered. It's free on the website, and then you have to talk to Doug about the registration. We'll get to that another time, not today. As far as like how you're going to pay, we've thrown out a couple of scenarios on how to do that. So anyway, in order for me, and I'm going to wrap this up, in order for me to do the standings, right, the poker series and the tour points and that kind of stuff, it's not impossible, but it's very difficult for me to have to type your name. And the tracks spell your name a different way, and the information comes to me in a different way, and it's written on a chalkboard, and I just want to get you in there so I can pull the down arrow, pick your name, put it in there. Everything goes consistently and well, and you get the results you're looking for. Garbage in, garbage out database stuff, I don't want to do that. So please get your car registered and spell your name for me. All right. let's talk about oh, technical glitch. No problem. Still filming. Let's talk about the weekly recaps on the agenda. Okay,
Yeah.
Doug? First thing that I have ticked is who won, how they accomplished it. And since we haven't done
Any of
one
them.
of these
Yeah.
videos, let's talk about the whole season up to date. We're 4 races in,
Yeah.
and a few
Yeah.
weeklies.
Yeah, a couple weekly shows. Richie Hitzler won down at Linda's.
Okay.
I think that was maybe the season opener. Eric Whitby won down there. And I think they had one other weekly show that I might be missing here. But then we had on the tour deal,
Right.
Corey,
Yep.
England
Corey's
won.
got a good start.
Tyler Bardick
Okay.
won, and then Justin Schraden won also.
So we're chalking up different drivers, kind of like the NASCAR season's going.
Absolutely, and then up at Penn which Penn Can's new to our weekly program this year, we had a Kenny Harris win
Okay.
in a Yamaha, of course. Tyler Smith and I think Josh Towner won a race up there this year also. I think he
Okay.
won like the season opener or something like that.
I think it's great that we're going back there.
Yeah. Oh,
Good.
absolutely. I'm all aboard up at Penn Can. I mean, I have a little bit of loyalty up at that place for. I'm sure most of the people know why.
Okay.
But that's where we are right now. But man, I mean, it's unbelievable racing this year. Just the Yamaha versus Suzuki. I mean, that's kind of like a little rivalry thing going right now. It's a good rivalry, but it's a good little new rivalry thing. New versus old style motors. RPM versus no RPM motor. Horsepower versus torque motor.
Yeah.
And then the sound difference. I mean,
It's funny because these guys that have both motors
yeah.
are chiming in, and they're going back and forth too.
Yeah,
from what I can
exactly.
see, right?
Exactly.
So,
I mean, for the people, the Suzuki people that are saying about I should allow the newer style Suzukis, I did allow a new style motor. It's the Yamaha. We're not going down the newer style Suzuki road because the microsprints are using them, and they're taking the price of them motors from a $1,500 motor to a $4,000 motor just for a bare motor. So this Yamaha deal, I'm one of the only guys in the country that's using this 3-cylinder Yamaha deal,
okay.
and it works. I mean, knock on wood, we're having good luck with it. We have a little bit of starting issues with it right now, which we finally figured out.
I'm aware of that.
Yes.
Because I've suffered from that.
Yes, we all did.
Okay.
But we got it all figured out now down at Don Gould's. And Don Gould's been a big plus for this Yamaha deal. He's been a big plus. It's just he's been in my corner the whole time with this deal, and he's doing the Suzuki boxes right now to even out the Suzuki boxes.
Okay.
Change rev limiters. We changed the fuel system, changed this, changed that, just to put more reliability to a Suzuki motor. That's what it comes down to in a nutshell. And I mean, the motors are running cooler now.
Yeah.
Suzuki guys. So everything that we did was to make life
So
into the motors.
no issues heating in the Yamahas. I know that my motor the other day was 90 degrees at Hamlin, and it was
190.
It was sitting in there, and
Yeah.
no, I mean the temperature, the outside temperature was almost 90 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
At the track, it was in the high 80s, and I had no issues.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's one thing with the Yamahas.
we don't even have a fan.
Yeah,
so.
I don't even put fans on, even like the Suzuki cars anymore. You really don't need fans anymore because we have that all figured out now.
Yeah, good.
Don Gould's been a big part of that.
Okay. Next thing, let's talk about sponsorship. As far as I'm gonna plug shamelessly the Battery Warehouse hat we got right here.
Yep.
Let's talk about Battery Warehouse. What are they doing for us?
Battery Warehouse is one of our poker series deals
Okay.
for Hamlin Speedway.
John Martinsky Sr., I believe, is leading that with a pair of 5s right now.
Yes. Yep. That's
see-
the number 13 car, I think it is.
Tiffany Mays
Hitzler, yep.
is second with a pair of 4s, and then we'll see where that goes. How many races is that?
It's normally a 5-race program.
Okay, so the best of 5.
Yep. You get a poker hand.
Right, the best of 5.
Yeah.
And then
And
if,
then at
if
Linda's-
there's a rain out, then it's the best of 4.
Yep.
And it's all explained on the website if you
Yep.
go to the Poker Series
Exactly.
page, and you'll see where people's cards are right now. So the neat thing about that I like is you don't necessarily have to win every race.
Oh, absolutely.
Of course, if you get 4 races, yeah. But right now it's not showing that. It's showing a pair of 5s is leading the way. That's kind of cool. You'll see how it is.
And I think years ago when we had it, what the heck was her name? She won James. Brianna James won.
Brianna James. Okay.
She won the poker series at Big Diamond years ago with like a pair of 3s.
Yeah.
That nobody else had a pair of anything. And
that goes to show you, get out there and race. Come to these races.
Exactly. And and that's a $500 deal to win a poker series. So we have one at Hamlin. We have one at Linda's, which is from HNT.
Right.
Heath. And then it's a 3-race poker series at Big Diamond. And that's from Butch Getz, Big Creek Concrete.
Big Creek Concrete.
Yep.
Okay. All right, let's talk about, there's nothing to talk about. Rules, infractions, and penalties. There hasn't been any.
Yeah, I mean, we've been,
right?
I mean, everybody's kind of been listening about the rules, and, we kind of, there's a couple things that, I can't say gray areas, but, people come across a tech, and it's like, well, you know what, for next week, change this. You might be an 1/8 of an inch, but it's like, so it's like, I mean, it's still a doable thing as far as the rule book goes, but, and they kind of, okay, not a problem. Next time we check their car,
so good. you know that Doug will come and look at your car ahead of time if you need, or, I believe you have other people that do inspections. They'll come out and look.
Yep.
If you're not sure, ask. It's fine. And the rules are out there now. They're published. And I know you also printed a book and you have them in your trailer.
We have printed books.
Okay. So I want to say from the website standpoint, most of you have your information in. What they really would like you to see is if you own a transponder, please go ahead and put them transponder numbers in, because I've been sending that list to the track and they're gushing over the idea that they can have that at a time. So that stops them from having to do a last minute entry. So please put your transponder numbers in. And if you get a new motor, I'm going to use the Suttons as an example. They got a new motor this week. I don't know what the circumstance, and it doesn't matter, but when he came to me and he talked about putting his seal numbers in, there's a field there that says why you are entering this information. Just put new motor. And that way it leaves an audit trail at the bottom of the seals and serials page. And then everybody could see what everybody is doing and why they're doing it. It just makes life easier for all of us, right?
Absolutely.
And that's one of those things that you asked for.
And it's a transparency thing.
Yeah.
I mean, good example. We'll use this for an example. In the last 2 weeks, I had guys from upstate New York that run the outlaw tracks. There were 6 people that came down to bring their motors down here to get sealed, and they had either big pistons in, high dome pistons, illegal cams, or no transmission gears.
Oh dear.
So I didn't seal their motors, and they said, well, we're only running up there. I said, no. I said, if it has my seal on it, I'm giving it the okay.
Yeah, and then what happens if they sell it to somebody that doesn't know any better?
Exactly.
I agree.
So they went home without motor being sealed, and that's on them, not on me.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, this is a good thing that I'm being like this, because everybody knows we all have the same stuff.
Well, that's why we have a spec class.
Exactly. That's
so
what it's
listen,
all about.
if you're buying a motor and the thing is 5 times the cost, you probably could guess why.
Yeah, exactly.
And you shouldn't be buying that motor.
Exactly.
So,
There's a reason.
or you're going to go race up there where it doesn't matter.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. That's it.
All right. Let's move on before we get there.
No, yeah.
Let's talk about last week. We went to Hamlin.
Yep. Yeah, we had a
We didn't make the race.
Oh.
It was up against, in fairness to us, it was up against the 11 o'clock time limit.
A little bit.
And they needed to get other classes in, so they shortened the race. But we also had some trouble getting the green flag.
Well, we did. We had a good car count. I think we had 23 cars up there, which is for Hamlin a really good deal for Hamlin. And that's a whole track full of cars at Hamlin. It really is. And it's early in the season. We had a couple new guys in the program up there, and everybody thinks they're, Richard Petty, the first time out, second time out. And they got into turn 1 and, in turn 3 sometimes, and they just ran out of talent.
I can tell you, I ran out of talent and punted Bryce in the first lap.
But
I apologize, Bryce, but
it's just one of them things. I mean, we all just have to. I mean, the race is 20 laps long. You just got to take your time. I'm on the radio preaching to you guys.
Yeah.
Everybody take a deep breath.
Also, one thing I want to bring up is if you have a Yamaha and you have a Suzuki, they're like a weed whacker versus a lawnmower. When I go down in the turn, I'm angling that thing towards the backstretch, and then I'm going to stomp on the gas and use that torque to my advantage. But I might not be going through that turn as fast as everybody else. You have to realize that when you're coming down in there. I think you have to see the two different styles.
Well, to a point, but at the same time, I mean, they're 60-foot racetrack.
Yeah.
You don't have to fight over the same 4.5 foot.
Okay.
You're not going to pass them by running through them.
Right,
Which we all know, but it's sometimes people just need a reality check sometimes. And while this, like when we go up to Hamlin next week, when we have a drivers meeting, we will have our own drivers meeting beside the track drivers meeting. And, I mean, it's going to be a little harsh where, instead of a 3 deal, like a 3-spin rule, it might just be a 2-spin rule or something like that.
Okay.
Just to kind of
they need to get back on good track.
Because I mean that gives us a black eye to the track. When we roll in there and we get.
It's funny because some nights we'll go and we'll run almost caution free, and then some nights we just can't seem to get a lap in.
So it is.
That's the luck of the draw.
Exactly.
Right. Let's talk about next week. We're going back to Hamlin.
Yeah, Hamlin is a tour race again next week.
And it's a tour race. Is it also a Poker Series? I believe it is.
Yep.
Okay. And you could find that the specifics on where we're racing and stuff are also on the schedule. If you go to that listing and click on it and open it, it'll tell you which race. And then at the top, there's some shortcuts. Yeah. They specifically spell out what's a poker race.
Yep.
Right? And what's a tour race versus a weekly race. And you could see those schedules. Yep. Put them in your calendar and Outlook if you choose to do all that and all that. Let's talk about the 3/4 car a little bit.
All right. We'll get to that just in a second. A couple big things we're working on. The 50 lapper.
Okay.
At the end of the year at Linda's, we always have our 50 lapper at the end of the year at Linda's, and I can never say thank you enough to Linda's for letting us do that. This year it's a Tim Van Horn Senior Memorial Race.
Okay.
Tim himself ran with us years ago, and his boy, Tim Van Horn Jr., still has a car, still runs with us every now and then.
Yeah.
I mean, I know these guys for a long, long time, just out of respect. That's what I'm doing.
Well, Van Horn is a name in racing. Carl Fuzzy Van Horn.
Exactly.
And that group.
And so I talked to a lot of the brothers. I talked to a lot of the nephews already. The whole Van Horn family, the whole clan, is going to be at Linda's that Friday night. David Van Horn, who runs the Big Block Modified.
Yep, know who that is.
All of them. The sisters, the brothers, they're all going to be there. And we're working on a couple neat things. We're selling laps. Next weekend at the track, we're going to have a sign-up sheet. If you want to sponsor a lap, it's going to be X amount of dollars. There's going to be 3 sponsors for every lap.
Okay.
And
so where does that money goes to whoever leads that lap? Is that how that works?
Yep.
Right?
Whoever leads that lap gets that lap money.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
could be a big check for somebody if they get out front.
Exactly. And we're working. The biggest show we ever had in my program here was a $3,000 to win deal.
And that was where, at Linda's too?
No, that was at Lincoln.
Okay.
And the Van Horn family told me that they're getting some sponsors and everything like that. That they wanna be more than $3,000 to win. So
$3,000 to win an Xcel race is a lot of money. They're going to beat that.
I mean, they threw numbers at me where they're shooting for more like $5,000. That's what they want to personally shoot for.
Okay.
So I don't want to say no number, but all I do know, they want to be more than the $3,000.
So just be warned, you're going to be racing against Kyle Larson or something like that. For $5,000, I had a little track racing in Xcel modified.
And
That's
and then,
a lot of money.
And then you start adding lap money up. I mean, just say every lap has $100 on it. That's another $5,000 right there.
We
So-
raced for the big check in England racing. I don't
Yeah,
know about
exactly.
the
Oh,
money
that
Corey loves
same-
the big check.
Same thing with like Sam Chicatano, who won the championship, last year at Linda's. I mean, Sammy said to me this so many times. He said, "I don't care about the money." He said, "I just want that check."
The big check.
Yeah, the
Love
big check.
I'm looking over here. There's one
Yep,
getting
there's-
ready to go out.
Yep,
I
yep.
see it over there.
That's from Heath for the next poker series race at Linda's.
Okay, so we're about to wrap it up because I'm looking at the 20-minute. We're just over the 20-minute.
All right.
We're
Well,
doing
just,
good.
real
One
quick.
other thing I
Yeah,
want to.
yeah.
I'm going to ask you one and then let you have the floor for the final say. You may or may not know there's something called a redraw.
Redraw challenge.
Yeah, the redraw challenge, and no one has taken anybody up on that. I'm surprised by that. What do
No.
you think about that? How far are we? We're up $400.
Yeah, $400. I think you're going to see it when it starts getting into the $600, $700, $800 deal.
Okay.
I think guys
just
are gonna,
real quick, explain what it is for those who don't know. Anybody that missed out.
When we redraw for the feature, the top 4 guys that redraw, first, second, third, fourth, they have an option to start last. And if they start last and if they can win, they get this challenge money.
So last to first, whatever the pot is built up to, it accumulates $100 each week.
Every week, yep.
So every tour race, it adds $100 to it. And then what happens if they don't get it? It just resets and it goes another $100. There's no penalty. Can they try again next week? Same guy.
If they pull in the top 4 again, redraw in the top 4, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so it goes, whoever picks pole gets first shot at it.
First
right?
shot at it.
And then it
second
goes
place.
to the second and third until everybody denies. And then
It just
if
transfers
somebody
over.
takes it, they start in the last and everybody bumps up a spot. They have to win. If they don't win, there's no penalty.
Nope.
And then they could come back next week and try again.
Yep.
So somebody's going to take home a big check eventually. It's
Yeah.
got to be, as the year goes on, it's got to be more and more and more
Oh,
tempting.
Yeah, so I mean, just think about it. We have like say 26 races this year with
Okay.
the tour. So by the 50 lapper at the end of the year, that would be another $2,600 bonus. If the guy who starts
Right,
in
if they didn't-
and
okay.
if he wants to start last, and think about it, if you're going to do it now,
For
you have
50 lappers.
now you have 50 laps to come
Yeah,
up
yeah,
through.
yeah.
So that would be another $2,600 bonus. I mean, man, somebody could roll out of there with some cash in their
Some
pocket.
serious cash and a big check.
Yeah, and that's sponsored by Lehigh Valley Auto Group.
Okay, the Lehigh Valley Auto Group.
Yep.
All right, good. All right, let me give you the floor for the final say, and then we're going to have a little saying at the end of this that we're going to say every time we close up. I got Doug's approval because
Yeah.
Go ahead, Doug. What else you got?
The big thing, just we're back on production on the 3/4 car.
Okay, good.
Our Xcel program, our 600 program, doing good. Got, like I said, got a new car here. Push it out the door probably Monday or Tuesday. I just put a front clip and a rear clip on serial number 4 car.
I'm going to give you a picture. I took a picture of that one.
That's an old down tube car, all updated, brand new front clip, brand new rear clip. It's probably the next week or so, that'll be ready to roll. Guys putting a Yamaha in it. And then our 3/4 car, we're back going on that thing, figuring stuff out, some geometry points, there's always glitches in the system when you're figuring this stuff out from scratch. When I built this car, I took from the motor plate back is from when I built my big sprint cars, my 360 sprint cars, and from the motor plate front is from when I built my ARDC and USAC midgets. So now I'm kind of combining everything, and I'm putting a transmission in it, 13-inch wheels and tires. Putting a small block Chevy in it. It's a 5.3 Chevy, right around 500 horsepower. Power steering, front brakes on it,
Reverse, which is nice.
reverse, which is really nice. Just that's where we're at. Like a 12-gallon fuel cell. Tracks are really on board with it. Talking to all the tracks that we do business with. It's an untapped market. I feel it's an untapped market with the 3/4 car. going to be the same. Right as of right now, we're using the same shocks as what we run on the Xcel cars. Going to be a 4-coil car, and then I'm also putting a torsion rack in the back, where if you really want, you can run a torsion bar just on the right rear. So you can run 3 coils.
So the power to weight.
Yeah, it's like going to be like 1,300 pound car with a 500 horsepower motor.
Nice.
So if I figure it's like a 2.48 pounds per weight or pounds per horsepower.
The thing's going to
ratio.
pick the front wheels up.
Oh, it'll be sick.
So all right, hawk something. What do you got a bunch of that you want to sell?
Single bearing bird cages.
Okay, single bearing bird cages on sale this week for
A set of them with the bearings in it, everything like that.
Ran them for the first 5 years, never had a problem.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with them.
Perfectly good.
There's nothing wrong with them. I'm just
What are we getting them out the door for?
$150 for a pair.
$150 a pair. What a deal! Way to end this video.
That's it. That's
Okay.
it. While supplies last.
Next year, if you want the chrome car,
Extra $100.
extra $100. Well, let's not say that for next year. We'll see what the price is.
Yeah.
Right now, if you want to do it right now in the middle of the season, get your order in. All right. What's our slogan? Oh, you're not going to remember. I'm having a tough time. I want to get it right. You could spend more money in another series, but you won't have any more fun for it. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.